thought, well, I didn't get my video finished. And so some people I know out there are going to be expecting a video, and I didn't want to disappoint. So I thought I would come and do a live in lieu of a video and that you can join me. I am baking today. Today's one of my days that I do bake. And I like to do my fruit breads ahead of time because I find that the extra day of being allowed to sit, the flavors all marry together a lot more, in my opinion. Then it's less that I have to do tomorrow. So, how is everybody doing? If you come on in, give me a hi. I'm trying to eat some high protein cottage cheese right now, and I'm not liking the texture. I should have bought the So Good one, or good. Yeah, I think it's called So Good or something like that. It's no blue thing. So mm, it's okay. It's not the best, but I grabbed a banana and I have my water. I'm waiting for a couple of people to pop in so we can get started. But I'm not seeing anybody popping in right now. Maybe this wasn't the best of time to do this. I've noticed a lot of different changes on YouTube lately. The direct messaging. It's like, did we really need to add that in here? I don't think so. But let me see what these things are. No, 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 no. Hey, Jennifer Ocean Homestead. How are you? Neither did I. The reason I decided to go today was because I didn't finish my video. And I thought, in lieu of that, let me go ahead and go live because that helps my watch hours too. Welcome in, Anna. I can't read your last name. I'm sorry, Anna, but welcome in. I appreciate it. Yeah, my husband did our property last night, and I'm really glad because we woke up to rain and now it's humid but cloudy and overcast. But it was nice. We got rain. I went out to my garden. Hey, Baba, nice to meet you. If I said that right, I'm sorry. Hey, Nikki, nice to meet you. Thank you. So yeah, I went out this morning. I found my rattlesnake seeds. Have you ever heard of the rattlesnake seeds? They're a bean. They're a pole bean. And hey everybody, I love all the new people coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're new, help me get to my next level. Maybe take some time to hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe maybe. Um so yeah, I do content about gardening. You find me most of the time in my kitchen though. I've been going through grandma's recipe box and just kind of recreating her recipes. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. At Life Pets, at Kara Kit. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So yes, I'm doing vertical because it's better to do vertical. I don't know why, just did. But I want I we are actually I have a topic that I've been wanting to talk about. And so we're going to discuss that today. And this has to do related around AI. And I really thought this was a real important topic to talk about. So hi at the Able. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Aurora Knight. Good morning. I'm glad you're loving grandma's recipes. That's why I decided to come up because I didn't get one of her recipes finished. I felt so bad. And so many people have been enjoying that. And so I thought, well, you get me live today versus in the kitchen. That's what I thought. And yeah. Oh, thank you. That's my little coffee station back there that I put together this winter. Um, so I can make my iced coffee instead of spending $6 or $7 on iced coffee that just isn't all that great, right? Well, we're going to be talking about that. So stick around. If you have time, stick around about the points that I've created through AI. Now, but I don't want to get into it yet. I'm waiting for a few more of our friends to show up. So, hey, Robin at Garden State, so and so, welcome in. Thanks for joining. But so I bought this high protein, it's called Good Culture. This one is not. This is an organic protein one that I just got down the street. And I'm not a fan of the texture for some reason. Maybe I don't know why. It's just I just don't like it. I have all my dogs surrounding me, of course, because I'm out here on the live and they always have to pitter patter around. So, so yeah, so I thought I would do a live because I didn't get the video done and up. And I think this is a great way to work on my watch hours again. I used to go live every week on the same day at the same time. Gail would join me, and I've really just gotten away from it. Thank you, baby. My little 100-pound Bernese mountain dog coming up, giving me some love, huh? Yeah, she give me loves. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have couple dogs, and then we have a cat who adopted us. Oliver is his name, and he's upstairs probably in his window seat because that's where he likes to be best. He's Lazy Bones cat. Oh, hello from Turkey. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry about that. That was really strange. My phone just shut off. I don't know why. How lovely. Yeah, no, we had some much needed rain today, but I wanted to get back. So I had the rattlesnake beans that I purchased. You're supposed to soak them for 1 hour before planting. So I said, well, I'll soak about six of these because I hear the more that you harvest, the more that they produce. So I said, well, I'll do six. I already have two growing out. They're a pole bean. And so I woke up and it was raining. I'm like, oh, I wanted to get these beans planted. But sure enough, it stopped just in time as I went out to let the chickens out and feed them and water them. And I went into my garden really quick and was able to get those beans planted and watered. And then more water came. So they are doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Jennifer, this year, I'll be honest, I have struggled with my garden getting it going. I haven't been myself like 100%, so it's taken me a lot longer. And yesterday, some of the video that I shot this morning, I'm actually doing for Grow What You Eat, the collaboration by Jan and them over there. I'm just gonna put that together. I don't know. I got them off of Rare Seeds. I don't know. I would go search and find out and see if they would do well. What zone are you? So so I'm not sure. So yeah, I know that's a lot of work. And I've struggled out there and I don't like the way my garden is set up this year. So I really am focusing. And so yesterday, let me back up. Yesterday, when I was out there doing a couple of things, there's one bed that I just, I like it, but it was wasted. I had some shallots that I planted and some garlic. So I decided, you know what I'm gonna do? Hey Penny, nice to see you. Yeah, this is my video for today, being live. So I decided to pull up the shallots that were there, even some of the garlic that wasn't big enough. There's a ton of ants for some reason in this bed. So I pulled it up. I pulled all the straw that I had surrounding everything and just put it off to the side. So now I want to, I've got some soil conditioner and I would like to plant something new there for the season. Yeah. Anyhow, it's telling me so they've changed so much here that I'm trying to. Yeah, I took advantage, and I think part of this week, so we had really spectacular weather on Monday and Tuesday. And on Monday, I know, I don't think I know. I overdid it in my front planters. Like whew, I weeded because I needed to be weeded, and I have some things I want to plant out there. That wore me out. Like it completely wore me out. And so on. Then on Tuesday, I went outside to my actual garden because I wanted to get a few things done, and that's there. And I could barely be out there because of everything that I did. So, but we are going to go on. But first, just let me tell you this: I was at Dollar Tree yesterday. I had to run in and get a card, and I always look and see what seeds they have. Well, they had this whole new display of the American seeds. It's called premium seeds. Now, whether it's just the packaging or they're the same like this, I don't know. But I ended up picking up some more flower seeds there. I didn't need any more of aren't those zinnias pretty? I picked those up. I picked up, these are dwarf mixed hollyhocks. I got two of those. Oh, and I wanted to plant these. I love the sunflower here. And then I just got some sweet peas. Anyhow, and the reason I did that is because why not? So, so I'm gonna give a little rant first. But here's a pet peeve. I ordered something off of Amazon that's taken almost 3 weeks to get here. I went up to check on the status because they said it was going to be delivered. They said it was delivered on the 15th. Well, no, it wasn't because it's not here. So I waited to see and I waited. I'm like, okay, I'm going to reach out to Amazon because it was through a third party, right? So it gets delivered. It has to go through FedEx to be delivered. So what they do, according to what the customer service person said at Amazon, is that no, it hasn't been delivered. It's been delivered to the FedEx um, area for it to be delivered to my house. And I was like, well, don't you think maybe we should change the wording on that because that makes it really confusing? And you sit here and you wonder where's this huge product because it's not a small product package. It's a table that I had ordered. So it's not like it's a small thing. So they said it should be here Thursday and I should wait until midnight on the 19th before I call back. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyhow, my tomatoes and peppers, and I'm going to do a video on that. That's the one I'm going to edit and put together for Grow What You Eat so you can see. And anyhow, let's get into what I wanted to talk about today. And I'm going to tell you right now the because I find it very disturbing. And so I went up to AI to generate this information. And I find it really interesting on what generated from AI because the subject is AI. So I said, hey, I want to talk about a topic that continues to grow, which is AI. And I put my own beliefs in there and talked about I believe that it's dangerous in ways that it's being used and not just for informational purposes. Um, so the way it creates ads, the way it creates videos, and the way it creates humans to look real. And I want to know what the true dangers. I already have my thoughts on all of this. So it was really cool because when I typed that in, I was like, hey, help me pinpoint some things down. So I'm gonna read and then we're gonna talk about it. I hope that's okay. And if you're still around, thank you for hanging with me, Jennifer and Robin. So, so when I ask that question, it says the biggest dangers of AI today: deep fakes and fake videos. It says one of the fastest growing concerns of AI generated videos that make a person appear to say or do something that they never actually did. And I find that to be extremely dangerous on so many different levels. Especially, oh guys, I'm not knocking anybody who shares pictures of their grandchildren or their children, but that's where I first go to is the dangers of children and what they can manipulate with pictures that parents or grandparents post out there, and how they can take that image and transform it into a video or other pictures that makes it look real. That is a danger and I don't like it. I think there's enough evil and wickedness out there in the world, and that's for how I see this. And if you don't agree, and that's okay. But I really, hey Shannon, I really would love to know, welcome in. I'd really love to know your thoughts on that aspect. And it says that a realistic AI video can do this. It can, remember, I'm asking AI this. It can create fake political speeches. It can impersonate celebrities, which I see all over Instagram and on here. It can scam family members by mimicking their voices. How scary would that be? Let's think about that. In an emergency, you get a call or something, right? And that is not who you that's not your family member. It's somebody fake. It's fake. And it can scam them into giving you something, or and it can damage somebody's reputation on top of it. So, is there, like any social media aspect, it is as good as you make it out to be. I personally believe if you use social media, use it for the good. Don't use it for the negative stuff, right? Don't be mean over it. There's enough there's enough of that in our world right now. We don't need to be mean to each other. We need to uplift each other. So let me see if you guys have any. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Do I believe it's a tool? Yes, I think it's a tool to be used, and it can be used in a really great manner. It's helped me fine tune things maybe that I've written. It has helped me uh, create uh, maybe a title from one of my videos that, like I know what I want to say, but sometimes it just doesn't come out. And I'll ask, like, hey, what do you think about this title for this video? And it will say, try this or something like that. I think that's good. I think that's good. So I want to read. I do too. I do too, Robin. Yep. And you can see it all over social. It's all over all social media, across the board. It's all over. Even even in um TV shows, they use AI to create certain scenes. Think about that. Think about think about how they can do that and manipulate pictures that you've put out there, family members, right? So again, these are my own personal views. I asked AI to help me with this, and I'm reading strictly from my laptop right here, guys, what Chat GPT uh, gave. I typed in the information that I wanted to talk about. And it's funny because it even said in the beginning of this, it said, um, where was it at? There's a lot of people who are concerned about this. So here's another aspect of it that they talked about is privacy concerns, right? Every photo you upload to the internet can potentially be used to train AI systems or to be copied by bad actors. And pictures that they can use, well, we already know this because this has already been going on. Create fake social media accounts. I know people that have had that happen to, and nobody does anything about it. My mom got scammed because she thought it was an old neighbor of ours. And when I remember my sister and I were talking, and my sister was telling me, I said, "Hey, that doesn't sound like so and so." She would never talk to mom like that. Mind you, this was a childhood neighbor. They used to come and babysit me. And sure enough, it was a fraud. They had got a hold of her account. They were posting all this stuff for sale. They were using all her information, and my mom fell for it, and I felt so bad. Again, aside from, um, the here it says create fake social media profiles, which I think we have seen bots, you can call them bots, whatever you wanna call them. Um, then they also said it can clone someone's appearance. So, you can I mean, I know I'm out here, but I do pay attention to what I'm doing, and I remember when avatars became popular and people were changing their profile to avatars. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. That's creepy. And I just like, that's not right. I felt that there was an evil back behind that avatar look. I don't like it. What are your thoughts on that? Do you use AI at all for anything? I'm curious to know. So Aurora says no, she doesn't use AI. But do you ever notice like it's on everything that you use? When you go to search something, it's on there. Like you can tell that it's on there. Yeah. I'm sorry if it's a little more difficult on, because I'm on vertical, so I'm using my phone today instead of my, laptop. And I'll tell you what, when you do vertical lives, you tend to get higher watch hours and more people. So since that's something I'm working on with my watch hours, I thought I'd do vertical. Right. And we already know they're listening to us, right? You already know, like when you go search for something or you're talking about something, all of a sudden that same thing that you were talking about pops up on your social media account, right? So, yeah, you have to be very careful out there. Well, there are other search engines that you can use where they don't track you or anything like that. So you might want to look in. I know there's DuckDuckGo. They don't do that. What's the other one? I have to ask my husband and son because they're the ones who know all that stuff. Yep, exactly, Aurora. So, and my first thought, I'm not, I'm really, my first thought went to kids. It went to kids, kids of all ages. And I thought, I know I follow people and that, have their kids on all the time on their videos and show them all the time. And I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong, but I do wonder if they understand the dangers behind that. Do you know what I mean? Because there are bigger channels, because they're so popular and they're showing their kids all the time. I just wonder if they understand the dangers behind that. That's all. And it's funny because um the what was it? Oh, there's a commercial going on. There was a commercial going on. Hold on a second. I don't know if you've seen this commercial or not, but It's this little girl's birthday and her mom and dad take her out. They're like shopping at the mall, they're going to dinner, they're doing all this stuff. And all these people are like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to use Jennifer's name. Let's just use Jennifer." That's the first name that popped into my head. And I said, "Oh, happy birthday, Jennifer." And the parents were like looking at each other. They're like, "Who is that person wishing our daughter a happy birthday?" They'd go somewhere and they're, "Oh, happy birthday." Everywhere she went, people were saying happy birthday. And it's a commercial for the dangers of, people know what your children look like and who they are, even if you don't know who they are. But it's out there. Once it's out there, you can never take it down because it's always out there. If you think you delete something, you may be deleting it, but it's still out there. Does that make sense? Yep. But and I think that's what prompted me actually to talk about more of this, because and when I think about the bigger channels that show their kids a lot, I just wonder if they think, maybe they don't think that way. I don't know. I don't know, but I feel that it's just, you just have to really be on guard and protective. Yeah, right, with their names, right? Yep. So I found that commercial really interesting, that it's already out there. People are already concerned, or we wouldn't be having this commercial. This has already been thought. No, but let's flip on the other side. Most businesses now have implemented AI into their business, right? Where it's, what do they call it? The I don't know what it's called. Like yesterday, I was on Amazon and it was the AI generated customer service rep where you can ask the questions. Well, it's kind of been around, but it's more around now, like where they can help and direct you in a totally different level. They have access to your information and all that. Um, and I know that it's always been around, but it's implemented now in a lot of businesses. And so funny because I was telling my husband the other day, I said I wanted to reach out to a local business here. So I went up to their website. Did you know there was no phone number? There's no phone number. And I thought, do businesses just not have phone numbers anymore? Because that's what I'm seeing. And this is a small business. This isn't a big business. This is a small business. I'm like, everything's done via emails. And I'm not that person. I prefer, if I have my business, I want my customers to be able to communicate with me by phone. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you prefer to email me, but I want that option, like, hey, you can reach out to me here or here. And if I don't answer, then get back to me, right? I mean, it's one of those things where yeah. So, yes. So, yeah, and that's another thing. Like, so I've taken you guys out and I've showed you pictures like of my property, nothing of my front. And I just won't. That's not, because you have so many things. Yeah. I don't even think you can get landlines yet where I live anymore. Verizon, of course, would be the phone company, but we wanted to get a landline, and because there was a landline here, and it's just weird the way they things have just changed. Do you by chance hear my dog over there breathing and snoring? Can you hear her? So anyhow, I wanted to go there. I wanted to go on that one. I don't know. Just keep leaving your thoughts and we'll get to, if you guys have questions or anything like that, we can get to those too. I love hearing all your thoughts on this. Yeah, we always, no matter where we go, we have to be aware of our surroundings at all times, don't you think? And isn't that sad? Like, that's where we're at in our day and age. I can remember growing up And my mom and dad would kind of use those words, probably not exactly like that, but pay attention. Remember, don't talk to strangers, that type of stuff. But nowadays, let's get real. On a totally different level. And what I don't like about it is I don't like, I'm not fearful, but I'm always, whenever I'm out by myself and say I have to go in, not to my little town, but further, I'm always looking like this, where I'm at, who's around me. And I don't like having to do that. I think it's sad that that's the society we live in nowadays. You know what I mean? What about you? Do you guys have to do that? I don't like that. And it makes me feel sad for our own children that are growing up. I don't remember those signs in the windows in the 90s because I was a mom in the 90s, so I'm not sure what those window things are. Yeah, but you know what? I don't think that we would do that nowadays. Would you, if somebody came knocking on your door, would you invite them into your house? Not if you didn't know them. That's not the way it's done anymore, right? I think there's something for all the good, for all the good that we have in the growth that we've had in social media, where it's reconnected people. It helps us stay in contact with people. Like, for example, I don't live where my parents live. So, guess what? In order for me to stay connected to them, I get to FaceTime my parents and we get to talk and see each other. And that connection brings us closer together. Right. Exactly. Sitting on the porch. We don't, there was a thing about that just the other day. We don't sit on the porch long enough. Right? What happened to those days about just sitting on the porch or just if you don't have a porch, why not get your lawn chairs, they would call them, right? And you go sit outside and that's where the neighborhood would gather and you would talk and you would, kids would play and yeah. Hey, Simply Jan Homestead, thanks for stopping in. I know you're busy. Um, so let's move on to the next one. And we kind of already touched on this. So, using this tool, it's also making scams much more convincing, which I already had shared with you. Example, they talked about voice cloning a grandparent or a child, fake customer service calls. We've all dealt with that. Fake business emails and fake videos asking for money. That's what's scary. And if you're not aware, let's take our elderly. Okay. So we have our children. But then we have our elderly that don't understand maybe all of this because they're a completely different generation. Sure, maybe they have a cell phone, but maybe they don't understand how the whole entire technology works. And I say that because I have my mom and dad are in their 80s and we always like, don't click on this, don't click on that, don't answer the phone, don't send money. Nobody, that type of stuff, right? And I think about our elderlies who don't have anybody around to let them know about those things, right? Like if anybody asks you for money, don't send it to them. You need to call, and let somebody else, the authorities know. Um, think about if somebody calls and uses my voice, right, to call something to my mom and dad, and they claim to be me, but it's not me, right, asking for money. It's stuff like that, and I think about the dangers of that, and I think about how our elderly are just always, what's the word I'm looking for? Prey. They're a prey. They're easy targets, right? So that's fine. I just appreciate you all listening. And I'm gonna have to take a minute too because I am baking some strawberry bread right now. And so yeah. So it's funny. So they say a scammer can no longer needs poor grammar. So if you've ever been scammed or you've questioned it, usually there's always some type of grammatical error in that, like the name's typed wrong or something that you can pinpoint. And recently recently I was watching a silly show, and I won't even tell you the name of it. And the one actor on there was a part of me that I kept looking and I'm like, she's not real. Like they've this is an AI person. And there was part of her that looked real, but in this one scene, she did not look real at all to me. She looked too fake. And that's what I'm mostly concerned about is people get so deceived by what is real and what is not real because of this. And I think there's so much danger in that. We are. So it's funny that you should say that. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I worked on some stuff last week, made phone calls, did that type of stuff. Talked to, it was pertaining to my business, talked to a company. And I explained the situation. I said, hey, I'm getting these random calls over da 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 and telling me that I owed money. And she goes, absolutely not. That is not us. We wouldn't do that. It is a scam. Do not answer the phone. Do not send email money. And I almost had a feeling that it was. And I was so relieved because, when you get those calls or something, you really get paranoid. See, there's one right now coming through. You really kind of get paranoid, like, oh my gosh, what did I do? You know what I mean? It scares you. And that fear that gets put into you by those things is what make people send money and do things. So, yeah. So, let's go on. This is, I think, aside from everything that we've talked about, this is a really big one for all of us. It is replacing the development. Now I'm using my words. It is replacing the